I am Ryan, the Life Changer, and I am so grateful that you decided to join me today. This podcast is called Unlock the Power of Your Mind. Let me ask you a question. Are you ready for your life to change? Are you ready to unlock the power of your mind? Are you ready to be the best version of you possible? I want to help you. I want this podcast to give new, positive meanings to the difficult times that you faced in your life. And I want to help you become the best version of you possible. This is your time. The change is happening for you now. I know you're ready. Let's help today to change your life. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for joining me for another episode of Unlock the Power of Your Mind. Ladies and gentlemen, if there was ever a collision of positive energy, I think you're going to experience it here in this interview today. I have with me Josh York. He is the CEO and founder of Gymguys. It is the fastest growing fitness franchise. He's also the author of the book Fuel, What It Takes to Be an Entrepreneur. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a gentleman that from 2008 in his parents' living room has grown this fitness franchise, Gymguys, to the largest in the fitness industry. Josh, thank you so much for your time today.
Oh, thank you very much for having me, Ryan. I appreciate it. Happy to be here.
So share with the listeners a little bit about Gymguys. We'll dive into how it got started, but so that the listeners can get connected with what it is you do. What is Gymguys?
Yeah, so we are an in-home personal training franchise company. We pretty much bring the workout to you. So we come in our fully loaded van, stocked with 365 pieces of equipment. We like to break it down one for each day of the year. Go out, provide our 3 C's, which are our core competencies, and that's convenient, customized, and creative workouts. And we literally service clients anywhere. So the bulk of our business is in home, but we really literally bring the workout to you. Home, office, pool, park, place of worship, hospital, senior homes, assisted living facilities, daycares. You want to work out in the closet? We can make that happen too. So we come to you and, we change people's lives. And that's exactly what our service is.
I love it. And, that's the first goal that I write down every single day is I have changed 1 million lives. So I'm so excited to link up with you today and have a conversation, and that conversation will in turn hope to change some people's lives. So let's dive in. Share with the listeners a little bit about what your early childhood was like. Was fitness always a part of growing up? I know you were a hockey player. I was a hockey player too. Share a little bit about your early years.
Yeah, so grew up always into fitness. Didn't grow up really with much money. I wouldn't say I was poor, but I was definitely not rich. Somewhere in the middle. Hockey, yes, I'm a big hockey player. Still play to this day. And one story I like to always share is I remember back in the day. I wanted a hockey bag so bad for all my equipment, but my parents would never buy it for me. So I used to have like two little small bags with my hockey equipment in it. And I used to always be so embarrassed to go into the locker room because all I wanted was like a nice hockey bag, and I look back at it and I say, man, I understand obviously now that, just was something that, my parents just didn't want to buy because they didn't have the money for it. But, really came from, just a real humble beginnings. And I like to stay humble and always be humble because that's very important. But, always different. I like to always say weird equals successful and normal equals unsuccessful, because you definitely have to be a little different if you want to achieve greatness. I always say if you want to be extraordinary, you cannot live ordinary. And there's a lot of things that I do that are not ordinary, but, so it got us to where we are today. And a little bit about, obviously the history of the company. We started this back in 2008 in my parents' dining room with a laptop and a vision. I will tell you right now, that vision, I call it our guarantee. Or, if you haven't heard of me or don't know much about me, you might not understand this, but you mark my words when I tell you that vision, which is the guarantee in 15 years that, we will be the largest fitness brand in the world. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. You got a higher probability of seeing elephants fly of that not happening. We're already disrupting the industry. We've grown faster than any other fitness brand in history. Currently in, 260 locations. We're in 30 states. We're in 3 countries. We're continuing to grow. There's no brick and mortar. We literally bring that workout to you. And, here we are today.
Yeah, well, in a service-oriented I want it now and I want it in the most convenient way possible, you can certainly see how the picture is painted for Gymguys to continue their already explosive growth.
Absolutely. 100%.
So I'm in alignment with you about doing extraordinary things. Share with the listeners, kind of a little bit about some of those extraordinary things you do, like waking up at 3:45 a.m. every day.
Yep. So I'm up every day between 3:30 3:45. I'm so routine that you could literally have a sniper outside my window and he or she would get me every single day. Doesn't matter if I'm sick with the flu, if there's a blizzard outside, tornadoes, natural disasters, nothing stops me. Nothing stops me. It's just that simple. Nothing will ever stop me. I consider myself one of the baddest people on the planet. Some people laugh when I say that. That's okay. I don't really like to, pay attention to what other people say. But I'll tell you right now, I am. From my early morning workouts to, look, I'll give you an example. I took a red eye about a week and a half ago. I can't sleep on the plane. I never can sleep on the plane. As soon as I landed, I went right to the gym. That at the end of the day, that work day, I didn't sleep for like probably, my God, almost 2 days. But I still don't stop. I'm just definitely wired differently. From my ice baths to my ice showers. I'll jump into a bath of ice. It's usually around 30 degrees. I'll sit in there for about 5 minutes. It's all about mindset. There are benefits to doing it, but I'm very big on, controlling your mind to be great. There's a part of your brain called the reticular activating system in your brain, and it allows obviously what you let in and what you don't let in. But you are the one who programs that, and you are the one who makes that, as far as, what your beliefs are and what your vision is. And very important for me, and this is really for anyone, if you really want to be successful, you have to have an extreme power of being a visual person. You have to literally paint pictures and see them. If you don't, you will never achieve success. It's just that simple.
Love it. And so, ladies and gentlemen, what Josh just shared is obviously just one of the ways that you can, as I call the show, unlock the power of your mind to help you achieve what your vision is. Let's take the listeners back to you, because I think part of the problem today is everybody sees the end, right? They see Josh at the fitness franchise expo, the number one, growing franchise. But what they don't see was all of that hard work, all of those 3:30 a.m. mornings when you weren't the number one franchise and you had to put in that work to get there. So share with the listeners what your mindset was as you're sitting at your parents' dining room table with a laptop, operating the business and growing it.
Well, listen, it all starts with the vision, and everything I've said from day one is exactly what's come true, and it's going to continue to come true. But everything takes time, and something that you said is very, very true. And I touch on this all the time is people like to always look at the finished product, but people never look at what it took to get there. And I could share stories that will literally give you ulcers of what it took to get to where we are today, from eating cans of tuna for 4 years straight, to literally being evicted from my apartment, to sleeping in the van, to, having more negatives in my bank account than sunny days in California. No, entrepreneurship is a very dirty game. And not everyone can play it, but you got to have the right mindset to be able to handle this type of stress. You have to love the fires, because you're constantly putting them out every single day. It's not easy to get to the top. It's hard work. You want to be fit? Put in the work. You want to raise children? Put in the work. You want to graduate school and become a doctor or a lawyer? Put in the work. We can go on with this for hours. You want to plant a beautiful garden? Put in the work. Anything that's worthwhile is work. You have to work. And if it's not difficult, it's not working.
Love it. Love it. So how can the listeners start to lay the foundation, or what actionable strategies do you have for them so that they can make sure that maybe they're putting in the right work, or maybe they're putting in the work, it's not yielding results and they need to pivot? What are some actionable strategies you can share?
Well, the first thing is starting with a vision. You got to have a clear picture of where you want to go. If you don't, look, people say you need a business plan. Let me tell you something. I didn't start with a business plan. I started with the vision in my mind. And obviously, we could have been a lot more strategic in the early days. And sometimes we just say, all right, let's try this. As we've grown now, we're extremely strategic on obviously how we move and how we execute. But that takes time. It's like, I like to always compare business to a baby. The baby, it's so easy in the beginning. It really is. It's not hard. And yeah, you're going to lose some hours of sleep, but you don't do much. The baby doesn't move. You feed the baby a bottle, the baby sleeps pretty much a lot. Then the baby gets a little older, then they start crawling, then they start walking. Then it starts getting a lot harder. Now it's totally different. Now the house is a wreck. You got to, be careful. You got to watch every second. But then after putting in all that work, it starts getting a little easier again, right? And this is how entrepreneurship, it's like a roller coaster ride. And I'm comparing it to kids because it's the same thing. And now your kids are a little older, but now new problems happen. And now the roller coaster starts coming up and coming down. I always say this too shall pass. That applies to success and that applies to failure. You're never going to be high all the time and you're never going to be low all the time. But you're going to have a lot more highs than lows. And really where it all starts is mindset. A lot of people complain, what if, I'll do this or I'll do that. The number one thing I can't stand is everyone's like, what's your New Year's resolution? That drives me crazy. You should be having a resolution and goals every single day that you crush. I don't set goals for what I'm doing in a new year. I set them every day and I destroy them. I crush them. Look, I don't drink coffee. I don't drink energy drinks. I'm unlike, most people, and that's okay. But I programmed myself to be like this. People say, how are you so motivated, Josh? This is not motivation. It's discipline. You have to be disciplined and you have to be consistent every single day, doing the same things over. If it's not working, well, figure out why and just keep doing those same things, because everything takes consistency. That's very important.
Yeah, I agree. I always say to people, if you were to brush your teeth 14 times in one day and then not do it the rest of the week, are you going to have healthy teeth? No, probably not. You need to brush your teeth 2 times a day, 7 days a week. That consistency is what really creates the change. So I love that. I'm going to share one of your quotes, and maybe you can break it down to the listeners with a personal anecdote. Some of our biggest opportunities are born from our biggest failures. What was one of your biggest disappointments that led you to something great, Josh?
Well, look, there's disappointments every day. I'm all about taking negative signs and slicing them into positives. It's very important. You got to be a positive person. You got to put positivity out in the universe. If you put it out in the universe, you'll get it back. You will get it back. Look, the fact is, like, people reach out to me. Look, I just joined Instagram recently. And it's funny, like, people are like, you need more followers, this and that. I don't even look at that. I don't even care about that. If you lack patience, you lack results. But what I will tell you is everything, like I said, everything takes time. But, when we talk about failures happen every day, every single day. I can't even name all the issues that are going to happen in business. But how do you make it, how do you turn it into an opportunity? Look, if you make a mistake twice, that's the decision you chose to make, okay? The first time you make a mistake, fine, but you have to learn from it. And, obviously just mistakes over time has created opportunities to get better, tighten our systems, create more infrastructure, focus on, other opportunities that, some of it didn't work, and the big thing I'd say really from failures is how to bring in the right people. Because no person, whether male or female, has ever been successful building something alone. You have to surround yourself with great people. That's very important.
I agree. And ladies and gentlemen, and I'm not saying this to Josh because he's the guest on the show today, but I met one of your franchisees about 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, and I was so impressed by this individual. And now after speaking to you, Josh, and starting to consume some of your content, I'm even more impressed because I see that mirror between who you are and the culture of your business. So share with the listeners how who you are as an individual kind of mirrors or parallels the culture that you've created for Gymguys.
Yeah, well, culture eats strategy for breakfast. I'm very big on EI. It's called emotional intelligence. I'm very, very big on that. I'm very big on also thinking with my heart first and my head second. You have to be real. Listen, it's a fact that 85% of people drive to work every day committing spiritual suicide. They hate their job. They stare at the clock all day. They're miserable. It's also another fact. And I have statistics on this stuff. People spend 3 hours a day on a daily, day at work, working on non-work related tasks. Now, if you look at large organizations and you look at their P&L, and for those who don't know what P&L is, it's a profit and loss statement, and that's where it breaks down all your income and your expenses. If you look at a P&L, they always add in theft. You have to add back in fun. We run our business off fuel. Fun, unity, earnings, and leadership. And those are 4 components that you need in the business. If you don't have them, you won't be successful. We have lots of fun. And if you're a boss, shame on you. Leaders lead by example. Yes, I'm the founder and CEO. Whoop-de-doo. It means nothing to me. Titles mean nothing. Everyone knows here titles from an organizational component are very important, but other than that, we don't even use them. In a typical organization, it's like you'd feel nervous to walk into the CEO's office. Not here. Doesn't work like that. Teamwork makes the dream work. And at the end of the day, it's very important to set that standard and create a good culture, because when you have a good culture, everything else will just kind of, the engines will just kind of run.
Talk about sales versus relationships, and what are some of the key strategies for building and fostering solid relationships?
Yeah, I will tell you right now, if you do not have the ability to be able to be friends with, whether it's a billionaire or someone who's not a billionaire, you have to adapt to everybody. If you lack the ability to build relationships, you will lack the ability to be successful. Everything in this world comes down to people. I tell everyone every day, we're not in the fitness business, we're in the people business. It's about people. It's about people. I am so connected just because I connect. That's what I do. I connect with everybody. I know everybody. I need something done. I know someone for everything. That's who I am. I'm just a connector. I'm very good at it. I'm a networker. I make things happen. But whether it's, and I'm connected to probably some most successful, influential, entrepreneurs in the world. But, some of that stuff's taking time and consistency to get there. But how do you get there? You got to paint it. You got to paint that vision in your mind. Remember I talked about your brain. You got to program that in your mind. You got to become obsessed. I'm sickly obsessed. When you obsess, it becomes your possession. It's very simple. But you have to obsess. You have to obsess. Very important.
Obsessions become our possessions. So the listeners can really get connected with you. There was a story that I heard you tell that I think really just embodies and exemplifies everything you just said. Because listen, it's very easy for a lot of people to come on here and say certain things, or for us to say that we're going to do things, but then when it comes time to actually execute them or to rewire our brain to make them who we are, that's something totally different. But I believe that you truly live what it is that you preach. Share with the listeners a story about the woman that you helped out one night at the grocery store.
Oh yeah. Okay. So, yeah. Oh, you heard that from the podcast. That's where you got that. I was like, where did I hear that story? I forgot I shared that. So, yeah. So listen, I'm a very humble person, like I said, and I have zero ego. I drive my pickup truck every day. That's not going to change. I wear my shorts to work every day. The only time I ever get dressed up is if we have company or franchise family members here, but I'm just very real. I am not your typical, boss. And I hate that word. It makes me cringe.
Me too.
But I like to do the right thing. And going back to thinking with your heart, listen, when you truly do put things out in the universe, positive things, and have positive energy, and you surround yourself with positive people, like you hear this saying, your network is your net worth. That's very true. But I also like to do positive things when I'm out. And literally one night I ran out. I had to get some, they're called mums. I don't know if you have children, but, like little snacks for babies. And I had to pick some up for my little man. So I ran there, quick in and out. And as I'm in the aisle, I hear this woman on the phone with her husband crying. And she was trying to cover it up that, she got laid off from her job. And she was really like, she's like, what are we going to do? How are we going to pay for her? I was listening. I was just kind of eavesdropping. And so I decided to stay in the store and follow her around. And I was in the store for quite a while. And when it came time to pay, I paid for her bill. And she almost had a heart attack. And she's like, what are you doing? I was like, oh, I'm just paying for your bill. And she's like, why are you doing that? I need you to no. I was like, I'm just paying for your bill. And she said to me, that's so not necessary. I said, listen, I just want to tell you one thing. Everything's going to be okay. You have a good night. And I just felt fantastic about that, right? And the bill wasn't even that much money. The money wasn't the point. It was that just I did a nice thing. And good things come back to people when you do nice things. But you know what? Just like when I get messages, and I get lots of them. I get lots of messages on LinkedIn in particular. I get hundreds of messages a day. I respond to every single person, and that's me responding, and I do. Because I remember back in the day when someone would when I tried to reach out to people when I was really nowhere or didn't have anything, no one would ever respond to me, ever. Like I was nothing, and I don't like to really be like that, because even if it's not the right fit, it's just nice to have respect, and that's very important.
Yeah, well, I really appreciate that, and I wanted the listeners to hear that story so that they could feel connected to you and realize that you truly do practice what you preach, and about putting positive energy out there in the universe without any expectations. It's not like you paid her bill with any expectation of what she could do for you or what you could get back. You just wanted to do the right thing and help somebody out in need and put positive energy back into the universe. And I just want to let you know how much I respect you for that when I heard that story.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
So let's talk about Gymguys now. This is your baby. This is what you have grown since 2008. How is Gymguys disrupting the fitness industry? Where do you see Gymguys continuing to fill needs or problems that is arising in the health and wellness industry?
Yep. So it's quite simple. If your business is not Amazon proof, you're going to have a big problem. We live in an Amazon world. Things are only going to get better. As far as better, meaning like convenient. The great thing about our business is human interaction is never going anywhere, and robots can't replace what we do. It's that simple. The reason we're disrupting the industry is because, look, I'm not saying gyms will die. Gyms will never totally die. But a lot of them that are out there are fads, and they will die. Just like you see some of these like hot things pop up, and a couple years later they're gone. Or if you think about some of these hot exercise, DVDs that used to be out, you never hear of them anymore. Like I remember a lot of popular ones that were out. Now they're gone.
They don't even make DVD. They barely even make DVDs anymore.
That is true. But the crazy thing is that at the end of the day, I remember sitting at my parents' dining room table in 2008, and we didn't start franchising until 2014. But in 2008, I was saying this, and people laughed at me and said I didn't know what I was talking about. But obviously, it's very clear that all this is continuing to grow and happen. So, for us, it's just, look, we're just continuing to change people's lives. And that's what we do every day. And it's obviously very rewarding. And I could share thousands and thousands of stories of people we've helped and how amazing it feels to do that. But at the end of the day, a lot of people, in the most successful gym models now, get a gym membership, and it's like $10, $20 a month. And people don't even cancel it, because at the end of the day, they just want to feel good that they have a membership. But those models are based on you not going to the gym. That's how they make money. For us, we really are looking to make change happen. And that's exactly what we're doing.
Yeah, I love it. So share with the listeners, maybe they're interested in becoming a franchisee. Maybe they're interested in in-home personal training. How can the listeners get in touch to acquire your services or learn more about franchise opportunities?
Yeah, they could just visit our website, gymguys.com, and find out more information, and everything's pretty much on the website.
Awesome. Two last questions, personal questions. Number one, who's your favorite hockey team?
I love the New York Islanders.
I figured. Awesome. And song to best describe yourself?
Song to best describe myself? Wow, that's a good question. Song to best describe myself? Let's see. Song to best describe myself. I don't know. It'd probably be something by like Eminem, High Energy. I'm just all about high energy. So I don't know. I'd have to really think about that, but something probably by Eminem. I love Eminem a lot. It gets me fired up.
Gotcha. Yeah, me too. Lose Yourself, or maybe one of those tracks from his movie 8 Mile.
Yeah, I'd say probably Survival. Survival would be by Eminem, would probably be a good song that describes myself.
Nice. Awesome. Well, Josh, I want to thank you so very much for your time and all the actionable strategies that you shared with the listeners. Any last words or advice maybe that you want to share with the listeners on how they can unlock the power of their mind?
Yeah, whatever you believe, you achieve. It's that simple. You just got to believe it. That's it. And you got to be patient, because if you lack patience, you're going to lack the results, and you have to be patient. Everything takes time. The thing is, people always ask me, why are you on social media now? I've been hibernating for the last 10 years, but now I'm coming out to play. At the end of the day, everything takes time. I'm focused. I'm always focused. You got to focus on what you want to do, and pay no attention to all the smoke and mirrors, because that's just gonna really just kind of take you off track of where you need to be.
Sure. I agree 100%. Well, Josh, thank you so very much for your time. And ladies and gentlemen, go check out Gymguys if you're interested in franchising, or if you're ready to have your life changed. Josh York from Gymguys. Josh, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so much, Ryan.
Thanks. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for taking the time to listen to this podcast today. My prayer is that it has helped to change your life, to make a positive impact in your life. And I just want to let you know that every single day, the first goal that I write down is I have changed 1 million lives. So ladies and gentlemen, if this podcast helped to change your life today, I would ask you to please go onto iTunes, rate, review, and share this episode with somebody else who you know will benefit and have their life changed. Thank you again so very much. It means the world to me. Go out there and be great today. Make a positive impact in the world.